Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Space 2. I think that we are in kind of a weird position here. I have, let's say, gently mismanaged our economy in some ways. We're trying to fix it. Yeah, we're trying to fix it. It's going to take a little bit more than what we're doing now. We've had some embarrassing failures in the settling arena and the maintaining our relationships with the pirates arena. And basically, just a lot of stuff is kind of going sideways. So, we're going to fix it the way weak, incompetent leaders throughout history have always fixed these problems, by declaring a large war. Do we want to go on Horatio? I want to finish this invasion, right, before we unpirate, make ourselves obvious, and then declare on him proper. So yeah, I guess we're going to wait a second on that. I mean, he already knows it's us. It doesn't really matter, I guess, in the diplomatic sense. I'm going to fire off a probe. Let's see. Let's fire off the probe this way and then have our ship actually take this star lane. See what is over here. And you all are just waiting. My guess is Horatio doesn't have anything that's able to compete with our large ship, at least not right now. It's a pretty early large. We are going to try to take Ying. Yeah, I think we're going to try to take Ying. We should be able to do that. And I'm going to do something. I'm going to reverse course on something. I think we are going to try to get in good with the pirates. Our relationship with them is disastrous, partially because of all the attacking we did, probably. But we're going to try to fix it. Obviously, we can't do this right now because we have no money. But the reason I'm going to try to fix it more than anything else is just because I've never had a game where I actually had a good relationship with the pirates. And I'm kind of curious what it's like. It does seem to me that they could be useful as a way of causing chaos and keeping people distracted from my war machine as it slowly rolls all the way across the entire galaxy. And in theory, we should be able to hack the pirate layers and I think reduce the cost of... I think that was one of our options, reducing the cost of interacting with them. I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to try it. Speaking of hacking, it might be to our benefit to unlock another hacking operation slot, right? Where do we... How much more stuff do we have to do to get that? Okay. We're actually on a tier that has that available already. It would take us 2 turns to research autonomous materials. Also, wormholes. Wormholes are just generally useful. I need to pick up autonomous materials earlier and more often in general, I think, because the wormholes really do matter quite a bit. Okay. Well, then we have a plan. We have a couple of plans running here simultaneously. And maybe we should formally declare just so that we could use actual tactics. Because this, fighting through their ability to conscript their population into their empire, or into their army, via just this bad ground battle plan, is kind of crummy. Yeah, like, they're going to keep drafting people, they're going to fill up their manpower again. We can't run a hack over to them fast enough to bust their ground tactics. Though they appear cold and distant, these castaways have sufficient humanity to beg for your help. It is a group of remnants piloting a crippled ship, escaping from an endless site where many of their kind broke down or went mad. Though they were forced to flee before they could discover its cause, they have been limping through space without further death or symptoms. Whatever once cursed them has run its course, and this remnant population is eager to once again settle, live, and work. Yeah, absolutely. What kind of monster wouldn't accept refugees? 20% chance of negative consequences, because it turns out some of my citizens are real dirtbags, but we will persevere, we will suffer through. And more remnant population is real good for us, because we already have remnants, don't we? Yeah, okay. It would be really nice if we could get them up to 20 population. We're trying hard here. So we gotta keep shipping our various population types around, making sure that we spread out the good minor factions as evenly as possible.
You're one of our favorite
I'm going to be honest with you. Recording 1 hour each day does not make it easy to keep track of which population points are in the air toward which systems. And as far as I know, there's no way to track, like there's no menu or readout that it shows you population points that are in transit. That might be a nice thing to have. So you're headed to Ikima. This new music track is a little wacky. A little Flash Gordon in some ways. What do we want to build here? We have Pulsos here. We should probably try to get Pulsos and Remnant population all over the place though, right? I guess the danger of that is that if we get Pulsos and Remnant population in a bunch of places, some of the places are going to produce Pulsos and some are going to produce Remnants, and we'll never get either to a level where we're getting the actual collection bonuses. So I suppose we ought to stick to just trying to get the Pulsos running. You have Pulsos already. Oh yeah, that's... yes, of course they do. That's the capital. You don't really have room for them. Although, we're colonizing the other world here. We will have room for them. Then again, maybe I want to just keep breeding Epistis here. Pulsos here. We have Pulsos on Kerr, right? Or at least we have some in transit, I think. Maybe not. I don't see a population ship along any of the lanes where one would be. You have people going to Ikima. The Remnants are on Korum, so, like... I might not want to send Pulsos to Korum, then. We might want to let Korum be a Remnant system. Yeah, Staterus just doesn't have any population space, unfortunately. Okay, so I guess actually they either are everywhere or are on the way to everywhere that we really need them to be. Alright, let's build infinite supermarkets because we are just below that ecstatic threshold. Petrov Jutka is... probably just picking up clerical corrections. The first point of clerical corrections is pretty good on political leaders, obviously. Plus deposit value on every deposit in your empire is a lot of extra stuff. Yeah, this is never going to work. Can we unpirate? Let's just unprivateer here. Surprise! It was us all along. I bet you'd never guess. We want to grab one of our good ships and put it into this fleet. This is our powerful fleet now. And then we want to declare a formal war on Horatio, I believe.
You have offended the most perfect. As Horatio.
He set up an outpost directly next to our empire, did he? Where? Where did he do that? I don't think I am aware of that outpost. Well, I'm going to ask him to remove it in the hopes that he will. And that we're going to declare war on him either way. But maybe we can get him to weaken himself before we do. I insist.
Your offensiveness
he says no. Okay. No big surprise there.
And distraction.
Oh, hey, this has given me... apparently, this has given me an excuse to declare war on him. I condemn your actions. How dare you? Alright. Now let's declare war on him.
Lesser mortals would tell you.
He's mad at me for calling him over and over again.
Opinion of you even worse.
Your ugly declaration of war will not stop the inevitable. No, I'm trying to hasten the inevitable. Okay, so now we should have... we're getting to contribute a lot more... oh no, it looks like our manpower that's already on the system is still down there and disguised as pirates. So we may have to wait for them to die out before we can invade with the proper troops that we brought along in the large ship. You can see large ships hold 900 manpower by default. After we pick up autonomous materials, we really do have to pursue some of the stuff that is going to allow us to contribute, or that's going to raise our manpower deployment limit. We have to be able to hit him even harder. So there are a couple of ways you can go about taking over systems. One way is to go the siege route, and just burn out the system's defenses from orbit and then walk in and take things over. The other way is you could just hurl tons of manpower at the problem. If you're going to do the hurling tons of manpower at the problem strategy, you want to be using, these manpower modules that increase the manpower deployment limit. So we got to research some of these. We have a lot of military research that needs doing. We also need to get more command points so that we can merge these fleets up in a little bit more of an efficient way. We should probably get the combat behemoth down here as well. Now that we are not being coy about our presence anymore. Make it clear to Horatio that he is not going to be able to drive us off. We'll take Corvus, then we'll take Horatio Prime, and then I don't even know what from there. Definitely specialize this planet. We should build the analytical engine. It'll be worth a fair amount of money. We probably also should... do we really need to build the Vault of Governance? I feel like Petrov Judka has a lot of her good skills already. We probably should. And then... the Trade Clearing Bureau would actually be pretty useful. Star System trade value is not super relevant to us because we don't have trade routes. We don't have trading companies. But the flat 50 dust plus the ability to collect the taxes off the marketplace could end up being an awful lot of money. It really is quite a bit of antimatter, though. And we might be best off just making sure that we get level 3 system developments going. Yeah, I'm not going to put it in the queue for now, at the very least. We'll figure out whether we need it later. So we do have to get those system developments up. What are we looking at as far as... okay, we have a couple of level 2 colonies. Kerr would actually be a really good place to do a level 3 boost. We're just short a little bit of antimatter. So next turn we'll be able to put this in the queue. I will definitely put this ahead of finishing the research cities. Alright, so Quorum, we're reproducing quickly enough that it might be worth it to just pick up another world. Looks like Quorum 4 is the sensible choice there. Okay, so we're all building stuff, we have good research going, good important research going. Oh, yes, bankruptcy. Sure, that's a problem. I agree with the basic premise there. That's a bad thing. We might actually want to use this for population boosters. Let's just sell some other stuff here. We don't need all of this Eden incense, but we do need some. I mean, we're solving for now. Let's just let it go there. We don't need to solve all our economic problems right this second. Okay, so... I could just falsify logs. Hey, yeah. How about we do that instead of lowering the cost to engage with pirates, or lowering the cost to improve our relationship with the pirates with money? Why don't we just improve our relationships with the pirates via hacking? I'm not actually sure what... Information on the chain of command and personal relationships can be gathered, reducing diplomatic costs. I'm not sure that this will reduce the dust cost of supporting them. It might just reduce the cost of getting non-aggression packs going. I'm just going to improve our relationships directly. So, can I see the effect of that?
Hey, let's talk.
I'm not sure if it gave us a little boost, or if it's going to give us like a boost over time the way it does with the minor factions. And unfortunately, we don't get a number on mouse over here. I'd really like to have an actual relationship value number. Horatio and the Sophons have created an alliance, which means that now I am at war with the Sophons. That's inconvenient. Yep, I have to let the rest of the pirate ground forces run out, I guess. That's not great. Could we bail on this? Could we back out? No, there's no way to stop the pirate attack so that I can get on with my real attack. Well, very inconvenient, because they're drafting is going to just beat us. Maybe what I should do here is just go to Horatio Prime. Take the big fleet and the behemoth over to Horatio Prime and just have at him directly. He probably has pretty impressive defenses here. Can I get... yeah. 90-30, huh? That's pretty impressive, actually. Can we upgrade our offense anymore? We could get plus damage. And we could do... if we generated a bunch of dust, we could do 2 more upgrades and make our tanks really effective. It's going to slow down our system development, but it might be worth it. So I need 2,200 dust if I want to do that. Well, let's see if we can generate 2,200 dust. So if I'm not going to have enough antimatter... yeah, turns out we can. Yeah, if I'm not going to have enough antimatter for a system development, we may as well sell all this. We'll recoup this faster than we recoup the antimatter. Alright, let's go ahead and do that. Alright, an entirely tank-based ground military, now with much more effective tanks. Hopefully that'll help this pirate ground battle thing work out. It would not take us that long to get over there. Looks like we want to start the behemoth a turn after we start everybody else, so they arrive approximately at the same time. I might be overcommitting here. We might find out that Horatio has terrifying defenses. I would be surprised, but it's not impossible. You know, and none of these ships have any manpower, because all their manpower is committed to the planet already, so no sense in bringing them over. Alright, the Argosy actually got to the system. So now that we're at war with the Sophons, it might not be a good idea to start this colony. Also, we don't have any Hyperium anymore. Yeah. Man, of all the people for Horatio to ally with, that's very inconvenient. Oh. Well, that's not okay. What makes you think you can do that? Let's, maybe have some words with them about that one. So yeah, I'm just gonna bring the Argosy back. We don't want to start a new outpost out here in this condition. What on earth are you doing? Why would you go that way instead of... oh, because the routes are actually finished now. The routes impose a movement penalty on people who are hostile, or people who are not friendly with the Unfallen, moving along rooted star lanes. Alright, let's send the Feyring back here. We can maybe harass this outpost. We do not have to let this happen. We might even want to build a ship to come over there and do a better job of harassing them. And actually, I would like to have another large. I'm going to prioritize that. I would like to have another large over here just for the sake of fending off potential attacks from blue. While we're up here, we can have a look at their ships. They have mediums, very energy-focused medium ships. This is the current design, Smasher 7. It's the newest design we've seen, anyway. Yeah, that could be a problem. I appreciate them not attacking the Argosy. I don't know that it would matter too much, given how long it's going to be before we can use it to settle anything again. Oh, yeah, sure, get hacking. Well, I think we're just going to run more hacking operations to the pirates, right? That was pretty effective last time. We might be jumping too many nodes. It might be I could just run it from Akima. Yeah, possible. We may as well install the accelerator, right? I guess I'm about to have another hack available. It's probably fine. It would be too expensive to cancel it now anyway. Okay. Yep, just as we expected, there is in fact a wormhole from Corvus to Ingress. I suppose I could have waited around Corvus, given that we thought that was the case, instead of sending our ships off. Oh, hey, they suddenly... apparently you can just jump in the wormhole midway through. Your system, Osulo, has been hacked. Yep, that's going to be so funds. So well, hold on, we'll deal with this in a second. We're getting a whole lot of messages.
More trustworthy than you.
Okay. If they wanted to ally, honestly, I would probably go for it.
I'm saying this, but we have a proposal for you.
Yeah, we need some friends. Do we know anything about their positions or... Not really, right? Actually, do we have any idea where the Lumeris are? We don't.
Do not pretend surprise.
Alright, the Unfallen are upset with us. That's understandable. We did attack their ships a lot. This is a weird... This is kind of a weird offer. I do need titanium. I do need friends. You don't want to be at war with everybody at the same time. Sure, let's go ahead and enter into an alliance. My suspicion is they're feeling really weak. So did that give us... It did give us vision. Okay. Now we know a thing. Yeah, they're feeling really weak. But entering into the alliance with them did not put us at war with anybody else. I could have checked beforehand, but I wonder if they were already at war with Horatio. He does have ships over here. He is harassing them. Okay, yeah, so it's just that we have a common enemy, basically. And they would love it if we would come over here and attack this. They have medium ships. Okay, listen, we can work together on taking out Horatio. Perhaps this will bond our people forevermore.
You're one of our favorite fish in this.
Families are on their way. We look out for our allies. I'm not actually in danger. It's okay. Horatio does have kind of a large empire, it looks like. Probably this is going to be a lot of work between the two of us. I guess it's good to have allies in this particular struggle. So our tanks should be considerably more effective now. Okay, he's conscripting, but he's not winning the battles anymore. He is going to eventually run out of population on Corvus, but not going to be for a while. Alright, so Staterus was also compromised. Which of my many systems is that? Okay, so that's also a blue hack, probably. Well... So look in the scan view, check your populations, check the system resource production details. Something happened here, but we don't know what. And unfortunately, I don't know what our production outputs on this planet were well enough to know if they've been screwed with. Yeah, if he's messed with our outputs, I don't think I would notice. What were the other options? He could have installed sleepers. That's what I would have done. He could have installed a back door, which we could use some defensive programs to root out, right? If we do this, we could potentially reverse sleepers at the cost of dropping system approval to 41%, which actually is still content. Also, why did it only drop to 52? There's a bunch of stacking modifiers and stuff going on here. So minus 14 from sleeper reintegration. Oh, interesting. So it didn't mean your approval is expressed as a percentage here, but it didn't mean minus 25%. It meant minus 25% of the flat value representing your current approval level, which was about 60. So we're only losing 14 approval. Really, this number here just should not be expressed as a percent because it's not. It's not a percentage of anything. It's just a flat value. Okay, that's a little unclear, but that makes it a lot less punishing than it appears. And what about Osulo? Is there anything really obvious going on here? See, part of the problem is I also don't know what our population levels were before. We have too much going on, so the information is kind of slipping through my fingers. I don't really want to do this. I suppose, if there's a sleeper here, we do want to take care of them, but also, the system's ecstatic right now, and if we screw with it, that's going to no longer be true. Well, let's go ahead and run it for 5 turns. See if we find anything. Our man here is currently on Osulo. He needs to... Honestly, personal militia might be useful. Because we could really use some sources of influence. What is the situation on Osulo right now? In general? So we could try to counteract the approval loss from sleeper reintegration, but, you know, this is temporary, and we still have approval stuff we could build here. So I don't think we want to take the approval skill. We don't have enough population here for personal militia to really be generating much good influence, though. Actually, yeah, just taking Common Touch. Common Touch will end up being more influence in the short term. Honestly, in kind of... Only when the population of the planet or the system is nearly full will this end up being better. Well, I guess at max level it's 2 points per citizen. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So we have room for quite a bit of population here. Alright, and then we... If we pick up another planet now, we can avoid overpopulation. And we'll be reasonably happy here. Our people like a good cold world. Living on the toxic planet is going to be a massive approval penalty, so we'll start here. Now let's hope that all they did was install sleepers. If they ran back doors, we would have to place defensive programs to get rid of them, right? But I want to run another hack. I want to hack the pirate systems more to try to get our approval with them up. Both because it's something I've never bothered to do, and because it will move our faction quest forward. Oh no, I chose the other option, right? Yeah, I don't think we're gonna bother pursuing it though. So yeah, okay, let's try to hack some pirates. Continue hacking pirates. What if we run a hack from Owentho through like that? 8 turns? That's alright. What if we... we're going over free space there, which always adds time, but it's only a little bit of free space. Yeah, it's faster than running from Vorda. Okay, that'll do. And I think this might be... Hopefully, this is enough nodes to not get traced. So it says bandwidth allocated is 50 of 80. Okay, it did actually install. Took a minute for the icon to appear. I thought at first it was not putting it up. So they have here an economic behemoth. Well, we can certainly run that off. Actually, it has 55,000 health and 1,500 attack. 1,500 attack versus our 16,000. Yeah, alright. I think we can, in fact, run that thing off. So we want to be at medium range with this thing, right? Okay, so it has retreated. We now have control of the air here. They have 900 manpower worth of defenses. So actually, we have a fair fight, except that we know that our force is superior to theirs in terms of damage output and health. So we could just drop. I think we just drop. He gets to use his whole 900 manpower, though, and we'll only get to use 600 of ours, because he has his manpower deployment limit upgraded due to defensive structures. Probably this means that he has tractable armaments, which means that when we attack, we're going to take a bunch of damage first. So maybe we do want to wait for backup or siege him down a little bit. We could wait for the large ship that's being built by Vorda. Yeah, it would be able to teleport to Ikima, then fly down to Corvus and through the wormhole. So it won't take very long for it to arrive. Actually, Akima's about to have predictive logistics finished. So industry here is going to get a pretty significant boost. Still a lot slower to build weapons here than it is at home. Let's colonize this desert planet. We don't actually need it from a population density standpoint, but we do get an extra 20 industry from having it up, plus another 10 industry from our Xeno-industrial infrastructure, plus another 10 science from our public-private partnership, so yeah. Let's go ahead and grab that. Also the ability to mine Orichalcix once we get that tech. And then from there... And really, our core problem here is just that there's not enough population to work all the worlds. So while we're building stuff, we're also filling up the planets, and at some point it will be reasonable to start building warships here. Hopefully at some point relatively soon, because we don't have all day. It is already turn 72. If we're going to win the game, we got to get a move on. We've discovered the planet Vale. There's an awful lot of unique worlds out on this this arm of the galaxy. Okay. So, like I said, I think it's probably a good idea for us to pick up some of this manpower gear stuff. Improved fleet management will give us access to the basic fighters and bombers, which we probably will not use, honestly. We have the slots for them in our large ships, but I'm not wild about the squadrons, and I think they definitely don't fit our current goals. Let's start with this. Unstable isotope has... I thought there was another tech down here that had another one of these modules. There is. Boy, that's a pretty weak version of it, though. Oh, that's right. We do need vision as well. Detection probe, invisibility detection up. But we need modules that give us vision on our actual fleets. Where are the rest of those modules? Because this is only level 1. Where's the level 2 version of this thing? So the fleet anti-cloaking level is 2, and it gives us anti-cloaking probes that we can shoot out. Okay. Antimatter channeling is the direction we want to go. It'll also give us access to transformative shielding and a couple of new battle tactics. En passant, have a movement point after the battle. Use it to be able to travel after the battle. These, the tactics descriptions are not always super helpful. Yeah, alright, so antimatter channeling looks fairly important. I guess we can skip this tier entirely, right? Due to our scientists in charge. Can we get a better version of the manpower module in this tier anywhere? Doesn't look like it. Yeah, these are just enhancers. This is not relevant to our goals at all. Allows the behemoth to act as a portal. Man, that seems useful. Honestly, we probably want some juggernauts. We're going to need some great big ships if we're planning to take over the galaxy. Yeah, this is just cloaking and decloaking stuff. So no, there's not a better version of the manpower module. So that being the case, I think we want to grab this even if we do want to just skip up into this tier afterward. Alright, we need to get our camera over to a place that's a little bit more relevant to our immediate goals. Yeah, I wish there was a way that we could just cancel the invasion. Nope, clicking that does not allow me to cancel the invasion. Yeah, you know what? I guess we'll just bring the Argosy back over here. Taking over Corvus might be the move after all, provided that we can actually get it done.
How are you these days? Care for a little business?
Science agreement. Sure. We're buddies now. So now that we're allied with the Lumeris, our victory conditions are tied together. Anything that accelerates either of us accelerates both of us, and a science agreement actually accelerates both of us, which is just fantastic. There's really no reason not to pursue all of the agreements that we have access to at this point. But I don't have a ton of influence to play with, and I'm trying... I'm hoping that we can get enough influence income going that is reasonable for us to host another law, like Star Boogie Bill would certainly be useful. At this point, it would cost 164 influence per turn, but we could afford the deficit for a while. We could afford it without a deficit if we just cut the Dirty Hands Act. There's definitely a scientist law coming up that has a boost to weapon damage on ships. That's something I'm really looking forward to. I guess for now, let's just keep stockpiling influence so that we can run some better laws at deficits in the near future. And he thinks he's just gonna run some ships out here and fly away. I guess I'm going to cause them to fly away. This thing wants to be at long range. You guys want to be at short range. Science from scrap would seem to be the obvious way to do this. They're just going to retreat, so we don't need to watch this. You can get a tractor beam module that makes it impossible for enemies to retreat from you. That might be a thing worth looking into for us. I think we're just going to keep hanging out. We really do need to siege his planet down quite a bit. We have a Sophon scout ship gently sieging Talitha. Not in a way that really matters, probably. Yeah, these little ships can do minor manpower damage, but scout ships only carry 40 manpower, I think, so it's certainly not the case that he could, like, invade us or anything. Even more raw Hyperium from loot. And the ghost of a machine. There are ruins in this system, old enough and sophisticated enough that they must have come from the Endless. There are machines within machines, some of which are still running, and others that are so alien that you're not even sure how to tell if they're running or not. It will take time to investigate properly. That is, if you don't just take the dust and run. I do like take the dust and run, generally, but this is not very much dust. So let's go ahead and investigate. We'll just devote some scientific thought to this. We have an 80% chance to discover something. Who knows what? So yeah, we got caught in kind of an awkward place in our system development. Like, we have a lot of infrastructure improvements that need to be made, and we can't really devote ourselves fully to this war. We could wrap it up a lot more quickly if we had the resources to devote fully to it. Unfortunately, a lot of my systems are just kind of, like, bad at building stuff right now. Okay, our population boosters have run out. We probably need to refresh those. This event has come to an end, and we have discovered a technology. We got commercial frameworks. Interesting. Also, I love the fact that this tells you now what technology was unlocked. Is it originally on release, it would just say, you got a free tech, and then you would have to go look at the tech tree and try to figure out which one of those you didn't actually earn. A brilliant inventor from the Kerr system has created a wondrous piece of technology, a neural device that allows one to temporarily control the thoughts and actions of another. Terrifying. The inventor only created one, and he apparently passed away shortly after testing it for the first time. Gee, what a coincidence. There's a bit of a hullabaloo over what to do with the device now. Well, we could destroy it and boost Kerr's approval, but not to a level that actually matters. 80% is the same as 70% for our purposes. Or we could double the XP that Tliket Goktok is gaining by having him mind control people, apparently. This is going to increase militarist political ideology, but at this point, our government is going to end up scientist-militarist. There's nothing we can really do about that, so I guess we can just lean into it. Extra XP for our hero is useful. Alright, we're just going to keep ground battling. They're just going to keep pulling their population. We are slowly defeating this system.
We have a proposal, sneaky chops.
So Blue would like a truce. However, if we take a truce with Blue, we take a truce with their entire alliance. I would love to not be at war with the Sophons, but I'm not giving up our war with Horatio. Use. Okay, the Argosy is fully readied and can colonize for free. Ooh, we found Quadronix on Staterus too. Shame we don't actually have the ability to mine any of that just yet. We're going to end up at war with the Cravers no matter what we do. We may as well attack their ships, let them know that they're not welcome over here. We can also attack Horatio's logistics vessel here. It's trying to run food out to his outposts. That's not something we need happening. And we earned 900 dust by doing so. Yeah, raiding him and stealing all of his stuff is probably the only way we're going to remain fiscally solvent. So we're just going to have to adjust to the fact that we have maybe become the bad guys in this particular story. You really have to screw things up to be worse than Horatio, but that's where we ended up. Alright, I will in fact refuse to stop attacking your ships. There's going to be a lot of attacking in our future. He would like a truce, and he's willing to pay 5 entire Hyperium for it. Okay, so he's arming up. He thinks we might be at war soon. I don't think he needs to worry about that. Obviously, we're going to be at war with him eventually, but if he's paying attention at all to what's going on in the galaxy, he could probably tell that we're busy right now. So let's just reboost these populations. As much as I am trying to get our other population types going, man, we sure do make a lot of Vaulters. Alright, over here on Staterus, we've sort of hit the end of our development. I don't think system upgrades are particularly, system developments are particularly relevant here. Again, given that it is not possible to grow any further. And we now have the ability to build trade companies, which I'm actually pretty pleased with. We should probably finish building the basic science structures here, although it is worth noting that Interplanetary Transport Network is a little bit better now that we know about this Quadronix deposit. I'm pretty sure you get the bonus industry for planets with strategic deposits, even if you don't have the technology necessary to exploit the deposit, as long as you know it's there. So sure, let's grab this real quick. Over on Kerr, we need... well, we probably ought to specialize these planets. We probably ought to also figure out if we are inhabiting the right worlds. There's not really much reason to be on Kerr 2 when we could be on Kerr 3. Oh, right, except for approval levels. Well, we're happy on the system right now. Wait, where's the other point? These guys should really be over here. And then we can move you guys over to a sterile world. Move this point of population back to here. Okay. We are managing our population and our happiness just barely, but like the Haroshims definitely should be on the sterile worlds. That's just extra food. There are 2 points of Haroshim population? Okay. So let's move this guy to here and this guy to there. Alright, there we go. We're maintaining our industry levels as best we can while not completely crashing happiness. These are actually pretty valuable here, since we have 2 luxury resource deposits. Maybe we can get that place up to ecstatic. Alright, over here on Owentho, we finished that building that cares about how many planets you have, produces industry for the planets you have. So maybe it would be a good idea to finish colonizing this system. But where is Owentho? It's sort of in the middle of the Empire. You kind of want to build your trading companies on the edges, because the value of a trade route is partially based on the number of systems that it goes through. So, like, what I would most like is probably Quorum and Staterus as our trading company headquarters and subsidiary. But neither one of those systems are super good at building things. Yeah, I mean, like, either way, Owentho is not getting the first trading company, though. So what else could we build here? We could just build more ships. That's an option. Let's see, our income of these 2 resources is pretty strong already. I'm not sure the Miners' Union is necessary, but it is cheap. And obviously, extra resources are still useful. We can just sell them. Also, we have enough population here. The pulvis production is... Yeah, pulvis production's pretty good. A level 3 system development would also be pretty good. Are we close to... Yeah, we're going to have enough Eden incense to do that pretty soon. Okay, I do want to get that trade company established. How much time would it take to build the headquarters here? 7 turns? That's not so bad. It's not quite Staterus, but the problem with establishing it on Staterus is that it could be blocked at Sable. Here in Asulo, it's much more internal. Oh hey look, Staterus expanded far enough to grab this neutron star, so now we're getting these bonuses on Staterus, so even more industry being produced. And you can see the influence bubble here is quite impressive, especially relative to a lot of our other systems. Man, this is a really slow bleed. I wish we could accelerate this a little bit more. So the amount of damage you do to enemy defenses is based on the number of command points you have hanging out on their system. Okay. Your hacking up was discovered by a defensive program on Gunno. I don't think it should be a problem. I think we should be finished hacking them before they can trace it back. Oh yeah, that's the hack where we maybe even went too far in making ourselves untraceable. Well, let's keep running the battle plan. So we're going to run out of manpower before they are, but they're going to end up having sacrificed a huge amount of population to make that happen. So then when we get the proper invasion going afterward, it shouldn't take long at all to bring them down. Alright, Kerr is getting pretty good at building stuff. Interesting. Where does he think he's going with his incubator? Maybe he's planning to head to Electra? Well, we can certainly run that thing off. Yeah, it doesn't have any guns at all, it turns out. And I assume he's just going to run away here. Nope, he stood and fought, and we just didn't have the damage to kill him in one battle. An interesting choice. So we're going to want to commit another attack right at the beginning of the next turn before he can move away, and that will certainly kill him. He has little enough health that he will not survive a retreat at this point. Send our military behemoth into battle against their one weapon ship that for some reason they brought over here. Hey, what a surprise. They just retreated. You're going to be seeing a lot of that. Okay, so now that we have access to our manpower module, we are going to have to build some ships that actually use the manpower modules. Probably what we'll do is build a second design of large ships. For now, we need another, like I said, we need more command points. This would be a good way to do that. Plus 2 command points per ship hull that we have access to is what we have. Both the small ships, the scout ship, and the large. So that's 8 right there. I don't think it counts these ships. But yeah, plus 8 command points would be a pretty good tech by itself. And then this also gives us access to the best version of the boarding pod. Yeah. I don't think we'll use any air troops. The thing is, the AI... they do redesign their troops as they get access to the different troop types, but they always go with a pretty heavily infantry-based force, so staying 100% on tanks, honestly, is probably going to be the best option for us. It's also the cheapest in terms of not having to buy a ton of upgrades from all 3 of the troop lines. Alright, so what do we want to do with you? We could just inhabit Sing. Or Gaikra, maybe, for the advanced resources. Corvus is not going to fall anytime soon. We're way underneath our settling threshold now. Yeah, let's just grab... What do the actual planet types look like here? Ooh, check out the tunneled slipgates. That planet looks like it has a terrible disease. So we have a temperate gas planet, a frozen gas planet, and a small Terran world here, versus a tiny monsoon world, medium snow, and large Arctic. Well, there's more population space here. And more titanium, which it turns out we actually still kind of need. Yeah, let's go ahead and get Sing. I guess we could have grabbed Electra. I don't think I need the adamantium that badly. Alright, so let's make sure that we are looking at Sable here as the turn flips over, because we want to order that attack the moment we are able to do so. Oh, what? Wait, what? Oh. Your Empire use of bandwidth exceeds your stocks. A series of cuts will happen next turn if you do not correct this situation. Huh, how did this happen? How do we... Oh, our bandwidth costs increased. Somebody must have installed a defensive program that increases bandwidth costs on one of the systems that we're hacking. Well, that's inconvenient. Unfortunately, canceling hacks costs additional bandwidth, so the only way we can really deal with this is to remove defensive programs somewhere. Here we're running an encrypt. Ah, increased by external factors. Interesting. Somebody's running offensive programs on us here. Well, let's keep the lockdown up, but cut the encrypt, maybe? Because I really, really don't want there to be backdoors, but I guess... Yeah, this prevents them from building... This prevents Horatio from building backdoors basically anywhere in our empire. You'd have to hack through Akima to get anywhere. But it might also be the case that encrypt effectively does that by slowing down his hacks when they hit Akima, giving us time to trace them. So I think we can afford to cut this. This is kind of what I was hoping, that the hacking system would actually be a little bit more involved when the other empires can actually interact with your systems. So we're actually going to create a new ship design. It's going to be based on the Spear-class hull, and the purpose of this ship is just going to be to deliver manpower. All of the support slots... Sorry, not all of the support slots. We do need to put engines in the thing. This is just an aesthetic choice, by the way. It doesn't actually benefit us to have our engines in the... hold on a second. Sorry, I've been recording a lot recently, and apparently my voice is going. Oh yeah, it doesn't actually benefit you in any way to have your engines near the back of the ship. It just makes me feel better. So we'll jam as many manpower modules as we can in there, and then we may as well make some other stuff happen. We have all these slots. We should put some weapons in. These ships have really no defenses. We have to be careful not to let them get engaged in combat too much. We probably just want to run the best weapons we have, the best cheap weapons we have. None of our weapons actually require strategics, so... We could run bombers and fighters and stuff. I don't know that it necessarily is valuable to do so. I guess with our other large ships being based on projectile weapons, if Horatio is developing ships for the purpose of fighting us, they will have projectile defenses. So maybe it's a good idea to run plasma bombers to get around those. If we break up the capabilities of our fleets a little bit, it's harder to tech against us. And then we can just leave missile weapons in the heavy mount slot. Oh, the name of the ship is empty. Yeah, this is the party van. It delivers all the people to the party. Alright, I'm going to need a party van. Party van runs 4,100 manpower, so we're going to have to develop some more sources of manpower if we really want to take optimal advantage of that. I don't really have a good plan for how we're going to get enough manpower to fill the party van, but we will figure it out. And once we have it, it's going to be very difficult for systems to resist the invasion. Because remember, the ×4 module multiplier means that each one of these things is actually 4 of these things, which means each one of them is increasing our manpower deployment limit by quite a bit. Yeah, 300 each, so 1,200 extra manpower in each round of the battle. It's going to be very, very difficult to resist that. Yeah, I'm pleased to see that the AI is, like, good at using the hacking system that can actually screw with you with it. I'm always a little nervous when they add complicated new systems. I think this isn't going to be a problem. I hope this isn't going to be a problem. I'm always nervous when they add complicated new systems that the AI won't be able to keep up with them. We've explored 50% of the galaxy. Wait, am I doing that? Here's a problem. I don't know where your borders are. So, I guess we might, he might have just told me that I do, in fact, know where his borders are. So, let's have a look at the Academy list here. What is the name of his, where's his creepy hero? Fossil Staccato. RFGC 8843. Boy, unfortunately, there's not really an easy way to search for nodes, is there? It looks like I do not, in fact, see that node. But we must have ships close to it somewhere. Or maybe he's nervous about the fact that he has a sanctuary on Wardan and we have ships near that? Because we know he has a sanctuary on Wardan, right? I don't know. Whatever, I guess it's not really a right now sort of problem. Okay, our people are ecstatic about the fact that we have chosen not to cheat at the election. So 20 approval for everybody, unfortunately, only gets us up to high content. We do need to get our approval situation under control. Alright, well, we've almost run out the pirate forces that we initially dropped on Corvus. He just keeps running little tiny bits of ships over here. I don't know why. I don't know what he thinks he's accomplishing. Run some weak ships over, retreat, lose a bunch of health.
Free to anger us.
Your honorless greed drives you to consume systems like a child gobbles candies. Okay, man. Listen, you come and get me. You know where we are. Something tells me he's not going to come and get us. Alright, not a lot to do on Staterus except for continue to accumulate science. Here on Akima, we absolutely want to do this. We definitely will have enough population for this to be valuable. And Akima having significant influence growth, I guess is probably not going to be that important because we're going to take Corvus. Yeah, whatever. We still want the upgrade. This ship really is not doing much of value. Okay, well, we unfortunately have triggered a trap. These pirates not even going to attack us? I thought that was the whole point of the trap, was to attack the... Alright, whatever. Listen, if they don't want to kill us, I'm not going to complain about it. So where do we want to set up first? It's probably the Monsoon World, right? Most food and most industry. And this will result in a 13-turn Golden Age for our Empire, which is nice. That actually should be enough to get us, yeah, up into Loyal, so we're getting some bonuses here. And we definitely want to modernize immediately. It's going to help us develop real quick. It would be kind of nice to have the Unfallen on our side a little bit more. I don't want the Guardians to turn against us. We might have to burn them. Okay, the Pirates of Saf have finally decided to attack me. This is a very weak pirate ship. 32 attack, 67 defense. I think we might be able to just kill it. So it wants to be at medium range. I want to be at short. Yeah, weird. I don't know why that ship is so weak. Like, no defenses to speak of. Well, we almost killed it. It spent its action point attacking me. And I am not allowed to attack when we are inside of the UE's influence zone, apparently. Well, we could try to negotiate our way to, like, peace with them, but that sounds like a lot of work. Fine, we just won't kill the pirates. I think if I just sit here, there's a good chance the pirates just attack us again, even though doing that is suicide, because the pirates are not real bright, frankly. Let's get our second skeed out here. Teleportation's pretty cool. And we're going to have enough movement to get all the way to Ingress on the next turn. That is just lovely. Yeah, we are really not generating manpower very quickly. So far, it hasn't been a problem, because we've been building pretty small ships. Falsify logs, even more pirate approval. How has our approval been trending with them? Well, it really hasn't improved by that much. Our system quorum has been hacked. Okay, that could have been Horatio. It also could have been the pirates. Boy, I don't even know how to know what might have happened here. You guys should probably come back to Quorum 2. I don't think we're ready to actually be over here. We just wanted to own the world. Yeah, I mean, we could... Sleeper reintegration would not really be a big problem here. Yep, the pirates have elected to just hurl themselves into my guns, which I appreciate. Like 20 free science. The terrible ground battle continues. It's almost over.
The unfallen watch the winds and watch you.
We shall declare war on you now that it may end that much more quickly. Well, it's not really that sneaky. You've been pretty clear about your intentions. I'm not worried, that's for sure. They have their scout ship here. We're just delivering population. Does this ship have weapons? Ooh, just barely. Like, only technically. There is a definition of weapons for which the answer to that question is yes. Well, we don't have the population to make ships very quickly here. AI labor will help. We don't really need... I mean, colonization is another 30 industry. So yeah, I guess let's get that done first. Alright, that'll prevent us from having to sell anything this turn, which it was looking like we were going to have to do. Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I was, like, pleased with how this is going. Now that we have the 2 ships, we have way more manpower than they do, and we've managed to siege them down a fair amount. I think this is the turn where we can start the drops. So we're just going to blitz them to take advantage of the fact that our troops are both numerically superior and individually superior to their troops. And hopefully we'll be able to get this done pretty quickly. Yeah, they're going to draft population into their military, but they're going to lose a lot of people in each battle. I think we're going to be okay here. It does suck that they have proper defensive structures, which has given them a much greater chance of survival. Honestly, it might not have been right to go blitz right away. We might want to do preemptive bombardment to safeguard our troops a little bit. Like, we're reliant on having more bodies than they have, but we can take it slow until we destroy enough improvements that we actually get rid of their defensive stuff. And then once we have bombed out their tractable armaments and whatever other improvements they have, then we blitz them. So it's probably wrong to go blitz the first turn there. Ah well, we'll fix it next time. We'll do a better job next time. you can actually just keep going, keep probing one way and flying the other way, and I think that is probably where we have to stop for today. We are probably actually going to be able to start taking systems off of Horatio next episode. I was really hoping we'd be able to get some progress on that this episode, but alas, it was not to be. I do want to say, a slow siege out can be a little boring, you know, just like equipping manpower destruction modules on your fleets and waiting in orbit, but it does prevent the other player from conscripting their entire population into their military, which is mostly annoying because it makes the system that you're taking over considerably worse right before you take it over. So the way we're doing this is going to result in him doing conscription a bunch of times, losing a bunch of points of population, and then when we take this system over, it's going to be considerably more empty. So there are a lot of advantages to doing it the other way. Disadvantages, obviously, that it just requires a lot of titanium to play that way, and we really want our titanium for other purposes. Anyway, that is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time, tomorrow, when we finally put our boot down on Horatio, and then figure out if we can do it to everybody else before one of them wins the game. And we'll see you then.